so much for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Kenvin Lacayo. I'm 22 years old, born and raised in Washington, D.C. by an immigrant mother. I'm a proud graduate of Theodore Roosevelt Senior High School and currently a student at Trinity Washington University. Now, I'm going to need one of y'all to verify this next one, but I'm going to run with this till y'all do. I'm also currently DCPS's youngest dean of students ever at McFarland Middle School. As a student, I spent most of my time loathing school and always feeling like being in school was just not meant for me. It was totally rare for me to feel motivated to come to school or to sit through class. I missed almost 2 entire years of high school where I involved myself in things I shouldn't have and ended up with court dates, a PEO, and even more questions about my future. This led to me graduating with a 1.4 GPA and little to no opportunities after high school. Whenever I tell that story, I always say almost 2 entire years because I did go to school on some days. In 10th grade, it was on days I had Miss Oliver, an amazing Black woman who was my English teacher at the time, who always made class feel like we were at home, chopping it up about history and grammar. In 11th grade, it was always my B days when I had Mr. Wilshire, a Black male English teacher who sometimes played Dr. Dre and Kendrick as we wrote. They made not only school feel worth it, but they also made learning, succeeding, and excelling feel worth it. In middle school, it was Mr. Mejia. I would stay after school just to talk to him because of how much I saw myself in him. Mr. Hipkins, Ms. Buchanan, Mr. Adewutu, Mr. Holmes. All these educators changed my life for the better. Many of them no longer work in DCPS or in DC at all, and it's a shame. This is a pattern across the city that hurts our students, their communities, and ultimately our city. Their influence led to me joining a program after high school that recruits young men to become early childhood educators in their own neighborhoods. That program gave me confidence, purpose, and a clearer path that 4 years later I walk to this very day. It placed young men of color in front of so many students who one day will look back how I look back at the educators in my life. In education, we often talk about students taking ownership of their learning, but I hear less about teachers and educators taking ownership of the learning of their students. Myself, the young men who came from that program, and many other educators who are from here and who represent the diversity of our students own it because this is our city, our communities, and we see ourselves in our students. We understand the barriers and hardships. We want nothing more than to love our students and watch them succeed. I took bites, scratches, punches, kicks, and threats from a free-spirited 3-year-old. I always responded with letting him know I cared about him, loved him, and expected better from him because I knew he could do better. I thought back to the teachers I named before and tried channeling the love that they showed me. One day during lunch, he told me he loved me. This was only a few weeks after the death threat. He is now in 1st grade, excelling. These positive reverberations can be countless when DC students can be empowered to work in the schools and communities they know. Familiarity breeds likeness. That means we need more Latinx and Black teachers across the city to inspire our youth to become teachers, principals, or even dean of students. Our students are capable of being anything and everything they want to be, and sometimes they may not even know that they could be. As long as we grant them the opportunity to work in schools, I would have laughed you out. I did not see teaching or being an educator as a viable opportunity. Empower Ed's Rep DC proposal would invest in programs like the one that changed my life and could change countless others. I was a week away from starting at Chipotle before I found a career in education thanks to that program. The talented and relatable educators our students need are in our classrooms right now. They may not know it just yet, but it is up to us to make this career pathway not only attractive, but also accessible. Empower Ed's Rep DC proposal is a necessity to the success of our city and our students. Thank you.